has as a response coming out of the locker room.
20 assists on 26 baskets, just 3 turnovers for the Mavs. We'll check in with George Sedano.
Dave, I spoke to Doug Christie, the head coach of the Kings, and he talked about how his team's got to play better defense. Full stop. Said allowing the Mavs to take the fight to them with their pace, and on offense, he said they need to not play out of their minds and play with more control. 12 turnovers, and as you guys mentioned a moment ago, 10 of those in the second quarter, he said, was inexcusable. He said they knew what Dallas was going to do and couldn't stop it, and they need to figure out a way to do that here.
You got the road team tonight in both the East.
Distance to the beginning. I thought Sacramento's defensive game plan on him initially good to get back onto the floor and help this team down the stretch.
And there were some that thought part of the motivation to get back as quickly as possible was because of his relationship with Nico Harris, and the GM, who not only made the trade, but is somebody that has had a relationship with Davis for a long time.
Makes a lot of sense. And look, he hasn't been really himself offensively in only 9 games back. He's still finding that rhythm.
Here's George with more.
Dave, Legs, not only just the relationship with Nico Harrison, as you see AD hit another 3 there, it's also the relationship he had with Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd was an assistant coach with the Lakers when Frank Vogel was the head coach, and Anthony Davis and them all won a championship together in the bubble. And not to mention the personal pride. There's a lot of chatter about this trade, obviously, about how Doncic went to the Lakers. AD wants to prove to people, I believe, that he's still one of the elite players in the sport.
Well, that is why the Mavs got him. I mean, they can talk all they want about the importance of team defense winning championships, but you don't trade a player like Doncic and just do it for defense. They're anticipating Davis to give them a big lift on offense.
So that, and look, he's been focal point at other stages of his career, including winning the championship with the Lakers. He was really the focal point in the finals. So he can handle that burden, and that's exactly what they brought him in here to do.
Sabonis with the basket. Back to a 22-point game, 7.5 to go here in the third quarter. Najee Marshall had a really good first half, 9 points. He turns it over there. 3-on-1 for Sacramento. Starters and Clay. It's the bench as well. 22 first half points and 11 assists for the reserves for the Mavs. Right now a mini run by Sacramento of 6-0 to get within 20. 5 minutes into the third quarter. Davis spinning, got caught in the air, finds Gafford underneath. Gafford comes up short, though. And Sabonis with the rebound, his 8th. Levine trying to get on track, puts it on the floor, drives and scores off the window.
And there's your first challenge. I mentioned get it into the teens. They've done that. Now it feels different than a lot different than a 25-point game. Their energy is there right now defensively, and they're getting some early opportunities as a result at the other end.
And they're going to call
physicality on that play.
Lyles right there in his grill again. Shot clock at 6. Davis' 3 is short. Rebound DeRozan. Davis now 6 of 16 overall from the floor. DeRozan jump stop. Missed it off the back rim. Midway point of the third, a 26-point deficit is down to 18 for the Kings. Paxson throws it away. Sabonis ahead to Carter, and a breakaway slam for Carter makes it a 16-point game.
Well, again, the runouts help. When you have a big deficit, you're not going to do that playing half-court basketball. They're getting numbers in the open floor and converting right now.
10 straight for the Kings. They double. Davis puts up the shot. He was fouled. He almost made it off the win. Back to your point there on Sabonis with that contest. There have been a lot of head-scratching plays that Sabonis has made tonight. Just times where he has not caught the ball. He's got 5 turnovers, just 3 for 9 from the floor. Not a smart play on defense.
Yeah, hasn't looked comfortable at all, and it's because of the length and size he's seeing in the paint. It's got him confused. He had some very indecisive plays in the first half. When Sabonis is really playing well and in rhythm, everything is straight downhill and taking the action right to you and finishing at the rim. He has not been able to get those shots off, and as a result, his whole game is off right now.
Meanwhile, Anthony Davis 6 of 6 at the line. He's got 21 points. 17 of those have come in the last 9 minutes. He had a rough patch, late first, early second, where he went 0 for 5 from the floor. But right now, Davis is the leading scorer in the game. Here's DeRozan off the bounce, well defended. Shot clock at 4. Levine. Good defense, Christie. Levine, though, swishes it through from 20 feet.
And he was comfortable that he could get that off over Christie. He felt he had the length, and he knows he's got that lead back on the jumper.
Another Sacramento foul and more free
Chemistry in that starting five. But I'll tell you what, Miami, very impressive what they did going into Chicago against a red-hot Bulls team coming into that game and completely dismantled it.
Atlanta got beat by Orlando. The Mavs will take on Boston. Lyles with the basket. Trae Young got ejected late in that game, but Atlanta will be home for that 8th-place game on Friday night. Exum in the paint for 2.
Look, and I know Devin Carter wants to pressure the ball, but you can't get beat at 75 feet and then not have anybody else step up to where Exum walks into a 5-foot floater. That's just not very good awareness on the back end by the Kings.
That's why Dallas is shooting 54% from the floor. DeRozan spinning and has it swatted by Gafford. This is what the Mavs did in the playoffs last year with their bigs.
Down the stretch, particularly defensively, that's going to be fascinating to see what they have in store for that 2-man attack with the Lakers.
And how much does Doncic's success against Minnesota's defense last year in the conference finals play a role in what he might be able to do in this series?
So I think it matters. Look, I think that the type of athletes they threw at him didn't really affect him a year ago, and now he's got the ultimate running mate, LeBron James.
Here's Christie on the spot up. His 3 no good. Gafford gets the rebound inside, and a loose ball foul called. We're in the game. Here's DeRozan off the bounce, well defended. Shot clock at 4. Levine. Good defense, Christie. Levine, though, swishes it through from 20 feet.
And he was comfortable that he could get that off over Christie. He felt he had the length, and he knows he's got that lead back on the jumper.
Another Sacramento foul and more free
chemistry in that starting five. But I'll tell you what, Miami, very impressive what they did going into Chicago against a red-hot Bulls team coming into that game and completely dismantled it.
Atlanta got beat by Orlando. The Mavs will take on Boston. Lyles with the basket. Trae Young got ejected late in that game, but Atlanta will be home for that 8th-place game on Friday night. Exum in the paint for 2.
Look, and I know Devin Carter wants instead. P.J. Washington quiets the crowd one more time with 3.
Here's DeRozan. He's got 11 here in the quarter, make it 13 and 26 for the game.
Yeah, look, you've got a big lead still, but DeMar DeRozan is starting to own the right side of the floor. That's going to have to change if you're Jason Kidd and the Mavericks.
A foul call has
been given tonight.
The Mavs have now made 16 straight free throws. Lead back to 19. Lyles in the paint, comes up short. Washington looking to run. Dallas with numbers. The lob was off the mark, though, but he used the most at 54. And the Mavs, if they're healthy, they're not the 10 seed now. Are they in the playoffs? I don't know about that. Valanciunas scores there, but certainly Dallas would have had a better record even after the Doncic trade if Gafford, Lively, Davis, and obviously Kyrie are healthy. Backdoor cut. Williams did not take the shot the first time, but then DeRozan left his feet, and Williams scores.
Well, he just has a great feel as a scorer. He's just never in a rush. Gets what he wants and plays with extreme confidence.
He's got 13 points. Meanwhile, Valanciunas with the jump shot. But if you're Sacramento, I know there's still 12 minutes left, but it feels like you're at the point where you got to stop trading baskets. Been tough for the Kings to get one stop left. Williams splits defenders. Open 3, Washington. And it hits
in the middle.
Would imagine they'd go to DeRozan. Valanciunas upset, thought there should have been a foul call. Shot clock at 10
seconds. Eventually, you got to blow the whistle.
DeRozan. Martin stays with him. Shot clock at 4. DeRozan trying to break him down. Scores again from the mid-range. 28 for DeMar DeRozan. Down to 16. Final seconds here in the third quarter. Williams. And so he's got 15 points in 13 minutes off the bench. 1 second left. Levine did not get it away in time.